Bore Chris and all, good morning, welcome back again. We're in Llyn Ogwen, Ogwen Valley. Tryfan, where we were a few weeks ago. On Llyn Ogwen, Ogwen Lake, Llyn. So today, it's the start of October, and I've decided, because it's looks like it's going to be a nice day, bit of sun peeping up over a garden there. So today I'm going to take you up to Cwm Idwal and up to the Glyderau through Devil's Kitchen. That's the plan. Hopefully the weather stays good like this. Yeah, should be a good day. So we're starting off a bit cooler today. Last time it was about 14-15 degrees. Today I think it's about 10 or 11 degrees, but there's quite a breeze. It's not windy. Storm Amy has recently been in the UK. Still a bit of a breeze about, so it's a bit cooler today. It's not cold. So should be all right. We've got plenty of layers. I got a t-shirt and a fleece on to start with, and I got a couple more layers with me, just in case. So last time I showed you this little spot, but I didn't actually go and show you the actual spot where people take pictures. So I thought this time I would actually show you the actual view from the spot, and then I'm sure you'll recognise it. So if you just come up here, up this rock here, then I'm sure, not so much that side, but this side, I'm sure if you've had a look anywhere on Instagram, then you'll recognise this view. It's great in the winter, summer, any time of year, but I think it's been pictured millions of times probably. So I'm still trying to find something a bit unique here. I have got the camera with me, but I'm not getting it out here. Probably get it out a bit further up. I thought this time I would come and show you the parking charges. Now £6 all day, so I was gonna a couple of years ago. I'm sure it was only a £5 about 3 or 4 years ago, but I mean, really, the way things have gone up in price, going up £1 in the last 3 or 4 years isn't too bad, is it, really? This week the plan is we're here, we're going to go up, we're going to bypass the turn off for Tryfan. That's the way we went last time. We're going to go up to Llyn Idwal, probably go around this way, and then at this point, instead of coming around the lake, we're going to go up here towards Devil's Kitchen. This time, with the road, she's over there, and I'll be walking on to Glyder Fach that way. Beautiful light here, just popping over the top, the Bwlch Tryfan over that way. I do love me a good waterfall, really do love a good waterfall. I could sit and watch this waterfall for hours, even though it's only a little small one, this little cascade. I could watch it for hours and hours. So of course, if you see my Tryfan video, you'll recognise that that's where we'd normally go off towards Tryfan, but we're going to follow the path around here and up where those people are over there. There's my watch again, if you can hear my watch beeping. So yeah, we're going to follow those people up over there, up to Cwm Idwal, up to Llyn Idwal, and then we'll be heading in that direction to go up Devil's Kitchen, or Twll in Gymraeg, Twll, which translates as black hole. There's nothing sinister about it. It's just that the weather, I believe, kind of gathers in that area. If it's kind of dark and murky cloud, can kind of gather in that corner at certain times, and then yeah, so it gets quite dark and gloomy in that corner. A good rock there for a pose and a picture from the side. If you want to get up there and have a nice picture against the sky. Recently in work, some people have found my social media accounts, my TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and it's kind of got me questioning. You know, they've been asking me, oh, why are you doing this, you know, in your 40s? So it's kind of got me questioning. I know I've said before that, you know, I've always wanted to do it, but it's the channel, the idea of the channel started off that I wanted to just kind of do just adventure videos, and then I went to photography, which that's one of the main reasons why nothing ever got out, because there are so many decent photographers doing landscape photography videos. I wanted them to be perfect, and because of that, you know, I was never going to be anywhere near as good as some of the other landscape photographers who go out hiking, you know, from the start. But I thought, well, what's the point in putting them out unless you're as good as them? So, and it's you know, I'm not as good a landscape photographer as them. I like doing it as a hobby, but I don't pretend that I'm ever going to be as good as them. I may be one day, who knows? But that doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, it got me thinking a little bit more about what's the purpose of my channel. And I suppose it's about, you know, doing what you love, having a passion. And, you know, it's something, as I've alluded to in other videos of mine, where I wouldn't have been dreaming that I'd be doing this. Go back 6-7 years, I would never have dreamt that I'd be out hiking in the mountains, seeing these beautiful places. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are in the same situation, you know, wouldn't dream of it, whether it's because of weight or, you know, other things. But, you know, the difference that it can make to you mentally, physically, is just incredible, you know. I find absolute peace in the mountains. I absolutely love it. Just the solitude. There's quite a few people here, but I wouldn't have thought on the tops there would be too many today. And so that kind of feeling of solitude, just to act as a few people, just being able to sit there and watch the world go by. Yeah, so it's kind of sharing that passion, but also it's about saying to people, or getting the message out to people, that if you want to do something and there's something holding you back, then ignore that thing that's holding you back. Whether it's because you're worried that what people might think, whether you're worried that you're too old, whether you think you're too unfit, just start. If you want to do something, then do it. You know, don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about, and it's difficult in today's society with social media. Everybody has some kind of image that they think that they need to live up to. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. You know, a lot of these people on social media, not all of them, but a lot of these people on social media, they're not the most healthy with their brain health and mental health, because they feel this pressure as well. You know, especially if they have a status, they need to uphold that status. And if, you know, after a while of trying to uphold that status, then they have lots of trouble. So don't think that you have to compare yourself to somebody else. Never do that. Never do that. You're your own person. You're unique. And you're amazing in your way. You know, sometimes you need to realise that. Sometimes you need to sit there and think and say, yeah, actually, I'm good at this. I'm amazing at that. We're generally, as humans, we're very bad at singing our own praises. You know, some people aren't. We all know somebody who's quite a bit full of themselves, but most of us aren't very good at singing our praises and saying, yes, I'm good at this, I can do that well. So you find your thing that you're good at, the thing that you think, yeah, I'm good at that. Yeah, that's my thing, and do it. Just do it. Don't let anybody else make you think any other way. Just do it. Here we are, arriving at Llyn Idwal, Idwal Lake. Some defaid coming over to greet us. And my watch telling us we need to go that way. I don't know if you can make out on the video the path, but we go around here, and just where there's a path that you can't see that kind of goes round almost at lake height, round and continues on this way. But there is a path you might be able to just make out a line, crosses a little stream that comes down from the top there, and then I think that comes from the lake that I was talking about in my Tryfan video, Llyn Ogwen, I think it was, the dog's lake. But yeah, the path kind of just ambles up here, up to where you see all these rocks, and then this is where Devil's Kitchen is, and it goes up through the rocks and up to the left, I think. And there's a stile up there as well. I have been down it once, but I've never been up it. So this will be a first time for me going up it. So, oh, here we are. Hello, defaid. Not interested. So there's lots of history and legends that surround Cwm Idwal. Cwm Idwal, by the way, means Idwal Valley. And yeah, I know before I said Dyffryn Ogwen is Ogwen Valley. Dyffryn and Cwm are both words for valleys, where Dyffryn tends to refer to a kind of a longer valley between two hillsides, whereas Cwm is also a valley, but it refers specifically to a rounded glacial valley. So yeah, there's a lot of history and myth and legend associated with Cwm Idwal. Idwal, which is a boy's name generally in Welsh, was believed to be either depends on which story you believe, the son of a prince or a prince himself, who was killed and buried, I believe, in the lake or near the lake. So yeah, that's the history. So therefore, it was renamed by the father, or somebody who revered the prince, as Llyn Idwal, and therefore Cwm Idwal. But there are things like it was believed. One of the myths is that it's called the lake where no birds will fly. So it's believed that no birds will fly over the lake at all. So yeah, it's very busy today. There's a couple of kind of outward bound trips, I think, going on. I don't know whether that's the actual Outward Bound Trust that are running them. I don't know whether you can see there's a group of people up there, there's a group of people up there. Actually, there's a group of people, you won't be able to see them, on the ridge going up to a garden up that way. But yeah, there's quite a few. And I think this here, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is Seniors Gully, Seniors Ridge, going up to here. I may be wrong, I may be completely wrong, but I know that Seniors Gully and Seniors Ridge are on this side, and go up to Glyder Fawr that way. And so we're going to go up this way and go up. I think we're going to go up the scree path up onto Glyder Fawr. But yeah, you can get up there that way. So as I say, there's a few different routes up to Glyder Fawr. And there's also this rocky face here, and these are called the Idwal slabs. These are very famous place for people to go climbing. So I think I've said before that I've never done any climbing, That's a little bit of light scrambling is about all I've done. Kind of up Tryfan, Penrhol Wen is a tiny little bit, and the Glyder Ridge at Siabod. It's about all the scrambling that I've done. I would like to get into climbing sometime. I think I'd probably like to do a bit indoors at some point. I believe there are a few indoor climbing centres that are really good. So I'd like to give it a go at some point. But yeah, that kind of thing is well beyond me at the moment, I think. But yeah, it's very popular with climbers. Back to wanting to make a change, and if there's something stopping you. I'd kind of heard, I think one of my audiobooks that I've been listening to recently, because I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks for self-development, and it kind of got me thinking about alter egos. Do you have an alter ego? You know, like Superman had the alter ego of Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne had the alter ego of Batman. Notice the difference there. Bruce Wayne is a real person, the alter ego was Batman, whereas Superman was the real person, the alter ego was Clark Kent. So Superman is a real superhero. But anyway, I digress. So have you got an alter ego? We're on the far side of the lake now. I'm sure you can see the path here. That's the path that goes round the lake, and it goes round up over that way and round. So there's a few people up ahead, so I don't know how happy I'm going to be to film next to the people, because as I've said, being still quite new to this, I'm still a little bit conscious of filming around people. I'm not too bad, but yeah, so I'll try and see if I can film the split, but it's quite obvious, you know, it starts to go up here where those people are a bit further up, you can see. So that's where we're going to head up that path. It's almost like stairs all the way up to Devil's Kitchen, and then Devil's Kitchen's a bit more of a not really a scramble, maybe very light scramble in a couple of little bits. I say I've never been up that way, I've only been down that way, and I can't really remember it too much. It was in the snow, actually. And that's one of the things when I spoke the other week about footage of the snow, of some of my old videos, whether it was worth posting them. Nobody's let me know in the comments. Oh, hold on a minute. You know how much I like a little cascade. So yeah, this is the point where the path splits off to the right if you want to go around the lake, or straight ahead to go up towards Devil's Kitchen. And you can go up so far, you go up pretty much kind of halfway, and then come back down and rejoin the circular path that way. If you just want a little bit of a workout or a little bit of elevation to look over Llyn Idwal. But you also, of course, have the option of going all the way up through Devil's Kitchen. As you can see them, there's a couple of climbers just up here going up the slabs. Doesn't actually look too bad that way. I say that, it doesn't look too bad. I ain't doing it, not now. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe at some point, as I said before. But no, definitely not yet. I'm not a mountain goat. I never will be a mountain goat. I might be able to do that one day, but not today. So anybody who's kind of seen my Instagram, will have seen this tree here and this kind of little almost peninsula kind of thing that sticks out here, because up here, just at the top of this bit. It's a nice little place to just kind of come and take some pictures of the lake if you ever want to come up here and do a bit of photography, that kind of thing. So I once enrolled onto a course with a chap called Simon Kitchen. Really good, knowledgeable photographer, knowledge of the local area landscape's really good. Check him out if you want to come up this way and do some photography. Highly recommend him. But the camera that I had borrowed because at the time I didn't really know how much I would be into photography. And yeah, about 2 hours into it, the camera died. So I had to do a bit of phone photography. Still turned out all right. Still, I think, might be 1 or 2 images that I got with my phone that day on Instagram. There's a little bridge here, a little slate bridge, which is pretty as it crosses this cascade through here. Very pretty. It goes down that way towards Llyn Idwal. We're heading, the path goes up here, and then we're going to look to make a left and go up that way towards Devil's Kitchen, or Twll, the black hole. As you can see, it looks quite dark up there. So yeah, that's where we're going, just up this way. So when I said before about do you have an alter ego, I don't mean like, are you Spider-Man or are you Batman? But what I mean is, do you have a version of yourself who can do the things that normally you wouldn't? So, and I realised actually thinking about it that I do have that version of myself. I don't think of it necessarily as an alter ego, or never have done before now. But, you know, that kind of version that, you know, I wouldn't go and start a YouTube channel. I wouldn't talk confidently in front of a camera. I wouldn't do all the things that I'm doing or make all the changes that I'm making. But there's somewhere deep inside of me you could latch onto this person or this part of your personality that just says, do you know what? I need to be different. I need to be a different person now. So not entirely. It's just a little bit of your personality maybe that you just will say, no, forget the excuses. Let's go and do it. So that's what I mean. If you've got an alter ego, let me know in the comments. It's interesting when you think about it. So this is the path up to Devil's Kitchen, Twll. So we're going to go up this way. So you can come round and then come down the other side. But we're going to head up that way and up onto the little gap between a garden and Glyder Fawr. So I'll catch you a bit further up. So yeah, this is the point where there's a path the other side. I can't really see it from here, but somewhere here there's a path. There you go. So the path there will go over, and again, this is another good photo opportunity. So I might have one whilst I'm here. Why not? But yeah, so this is a good place where if you want to go down that way, you can rejoin the path that goes round Llyn Idwal. Having climbed up to, we're at about 520 metres, so a decent climb, but nothing too stressful. And then I say that as I'm sweating because I'm a bit warm. But yeah, you can go down that way, or you continue back up this way to go up to Twll, up to Devil's Kitchen. The path here is quite well defined, you can see. It's quite well trodden. Goes up that way. So you will need your hands maybe a little bit in the odd place, but it's nothing too taxing. So after saying literally just here that it was quite well defined, we've reached this bit. Now, it looks like there's some people who've gone up that way. Obviously you can go up that way and go round up that way. It looks like the main path, and I've checked all trails, and all trails seems to be showing a path round this way somewhere, and maybe a path here. But this definitely looks like this was meant to, you know, almost like the steps that we've been following. So I'm going to try and head up this way and I'll have a look when I get up here whether I'm going that way or going up that way. And there you go, we've got to the top of that little bit there, and I just looked right, and here we go, we're back at the steps. So yeah, there's just that odd little bit, it doesn't look very well defined, and then we go and we're back up. So yeah, we're right, so we're going up this way, and again we look really clear going up that way, and then before we shoot off up to the left and we'll see the stile. Little cave there if you're desperate for some shelter. Although there's a bit of rubbish in there, but yeah, little cave. So it looks here like that's the, which is a bit steep and a bit scrambly. Starting to wish I hadn't bought my heavy bag now with my camera in, but it's not too bad. It's not exposed or anything like that, so we should be okay. It's getting a bit warm now. Take a there is a little bit there. It's a bit awkward, and I didn't particularly like it, but the only reason I didn't like it was I think because of the weight in the bag, because I've got my tripod, my camera and all that kind of stuff. I don't think, if I came up through Devil's Kitchen again, I don't think I'd be bringing all the camera gear. I'd probably, if I wanted to come up at Glyders again, that way I'd either come round and up Glyder Fach or up a garden, which is a much easier kind of route with no real kind of scrambling. It's not a massive amount of scrambling, it's just there's a couple of bits which is just a little bit, and it just got me a little bit with falling back. As I've told you before, I'm not great with any kind of heights or anything where I don't feel safe. Anything that is treacherous. So yeah, just be aware of that. But if you've only got a light bag and you've done any kind of amount of scrambling before, it should be okay. I'm okay. It's just the bag thing made me a little bit. It's a bit wide here, and it looks like there are paths that go off that way. This seems to be the main path. It seems to head there and disappear. So my guess is with this big jagged rock here, it's going to head in front of it and then go behind it. That's my guess. And there we go. There's the wall. You can see that just over there. You can see the stile popping out. There's the stile and the wall. Good place actually to go and have a butty if you want. I might stop here, just have a coffee quickly. But then this takes you straight up to Llyn, and then we're on to try and tackle Glyderau. What a view that is. Not bad view to everybody, did it? So there we go, that was Devil's Kitchen and the stile. So we're now making our way this final little bit, it's not much, it's where that chap's going, just up to Llyn Ogwen, and then we'll start the final ascent up to Glyderau, which is, I think it's about 150, 200 metres of scree, which isn't fun. I think there are other ways, so I might even have a look and see if we can see a different way. But the scree path is the way I went up last time. I think that's the way that's on all trails, so it's the way people generally go, I think. I think there's a route round the back, but yeah, we'll have a judge, see what it's like, and then yeah, make a decision. So over there is a garden. You can see the path that goes up to the summit of a garden that way if you come this way to go up there. And just over this little bit you'll be able to see Llyn Ogwen. You can see some people maybe coming down the scree there. So that's the main route I was talking about. I don't know if you can see them. That's the main route up to Glyder Fawr. So there are other routes. I believe there's a route where you can go around that way, around the back, and up the back way. I think some people have also come a bit further this way. But yeah, I think the scree route is, well, it's the way that I've known before, and it's probably the way that I'll go. By the way, there was, sorry, I don't remember your name. Wild something was your username. Thanks for reaching out and a comment on my first video. Yeah, Jimbo, James, I said in my first video. People call me all of them. But yeah, generally people tend to call me Jim or James. And some people call me Jimbo. But I'll answer to all three, don't mind. And I have been called far worse. But yeah, Jim, people tend to call me. So that there is Llyn Ogwen. And then that there is the horrible scree path that we need to go up. Right, so I'm on my phone now. So rather than come up the normal scree way, I decided to come up this. And it seems now, actually, you can't avoid scree. There's scree in every direction to get up, so it's just which is the best of all the screes. So the path that I was going on goes up there, but then it looks like it goes up further and picks up actually the other scree path that I would normally have gone up. So yeah, that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to get onto this path and go up there and just follow the scree up there. So what was it I was saying before? Why wouldn't you hike mountains? Madness. Don't hike mountains. Don't hike mountains, it's horrible, horrible. I'm only kidding, but that scree was horrible. So it comes up here. We're at about now 870 metres. Actually, it eases up about 850, 860 metres. Up to that point though, from Llyn Ogwen, which is at about 750 metres, it's horrible. So you've got about 100 metres of scree, and it's horrible. It really is. It's rank. It's steep. It's a bit uneasy, uneven. Some of it slips. You've got to be very careful where you put your feet. But I mean, the view is fabulous, absolutely amazing. So you know, the reward is incredible. But please, if anybody knows a better way to come up from Devil's Kitchen and get up Glyder Fawr, if there's another way that's easier that way, without having to scramble too much, or if there is indeed a way around the back there where you can avoid that scree, please put it down in the comments, because I'd really love to know, because that is horrible. I mean, it's only 100 metres, but it's a horrible 100 metres. And I say it's really steep with a heavy bag. It's not nice. I was actually given recently these hiking poles, new hiking poles, because I needed some new ones. Mine were getting a bit sticky and a bit rusty to review. And they look really, really good quality. But I'm not liking the wooden handles. They're a bit hard. I like the foam handles, the EVA foam. I think these are more long lasting, but they're not very good. And also, because they're wooden and you don't have the clip in the top, you've got to kind of tie a knot to make it to stop it from the loop going really big, unless there's something I'm missing. Again, if there's something I'm missing and somebody's got a tip, please let me know in the comments. So, but yeah, anyway, we're about 130 meters and it's like this pretty much until the top, where you've got, you know, the rocky alien landscape that is Glyder Fawr and Glyder Fach, which is amazing, which you'll see in a bit. So, but that's what's left ahead of us. So we'll catch you in a bit when we get up there. We're nearing the summit. We're at 940 metres, so we need to go up here, which is probably another 30 metres. The summit of Glyder Fawr is just over 1,000 metres, so there's still a bit of climbing, but it's quite gradual once you get at the top here. So this, little bit similar to Tryfan, is what I was talking about with the kind of alien landscape up here. the top of Glyder Fawr is all like this, and Glyder Fach is pretty much all the same. So the name Glyder actually means pile of stones from Old Welsh. So yeah, that's where the name comes from, is the fact that it's a big pile of stones, a pile of rocks. And yeah, it's all like this. So we just need to, you can see there's a bit of greenery where that's been well trodden. So we'll go up there, make our way to the top. We're 960 metres, so actually the summit is really close to here. So we'll go up there and then on to Glyder Fach via Castell Y Gwynt, which is the castle in the wind. So I'll show you that. Yeah, I'll speak to you when we're up on the top. So yeah, it's looking increasingly like we're going to be in amongst the cloud on Glyder Fawr today. So, but hey ho, visibility is not too bad up here. Hopefully it'll clear a little bit so we can get a couple of nice pictures. There's my watch telling me I should be going up there, which is where I'm heading. So yeah, Glyder Fawr. It's I think the 5th highest mountain in Wales. Behind, of course, Llyn Snowdon, and a few others. Cantilever over the way, probably Cantilever, I think. Maybe is it Cantilever Llyn? Glyder Ogwen as well is classed as one of the summits. I think that's higher. But it's one of the Welsh 3000s, and stands at, well, you saw before, if I can remember rightly, it's about 1,001 metres, so just over 1,000 metres in height, maybe a little bit more than that, I can't remember. But yeah, so this is the rocky terrain that you've got. Actually, I don't think I've wandered so much this side. It's these kind of great big jagged rocks that I remember. I think maybe last time I was here I went a bit more directly over, because I remember it was far more rocky here. So whether we'll see that over this other side. But yeah, Glyder Fawr, although it's smaller than Llyn Snowdon, it's generally considered more difficult. And you've seen the scree, I would agree, wholeheartedly agree. Obviously there are difficult routes up Snowdon, Cwm Idwal, and the Watkins. I've never done the Watkins or Cwm Idwal, but I believe they're very difficult. Yeah, in general, when you compare it to something like the Llanberis path or the Ranger path, this is far more difficult because of that scree there. But yeah, this is the summit of Glyder Fawr. It's up on one of these, so I think up there probably is as high a point as any. Because we're currently at 993 metres. So one of these little pinnacles, if that's what you call them, that stick out, I would probably count as the summit. This looks like a lot of people have gone up here, so I'm presuming people count this as the summit. There we go, summit of Glyder Fawr. That might be higher over there, it's not too far off. This is good enough for me. 1,001 or 1,004 metres. My watch says 1,000, so we'll say 1,000. Maybe that one's 1 metre higher, but we're going that way. I'll do that next time. So, but this is why we hike, these amazing views. But seriously, you know, the views up here would be amazing. And it's an amazing world up here. And look how few people there are. This is the great bit about getting out and hiking for your mental health and your well-being and your physical well-being as well, you know, because it's a workout. But just being able to get away from it all. Look, nobody in sight. There have been people, there have been quite a few people. You know, there's always a few people up in Ogwen Valley doing these mountains, but not loads. Not like Llyn Idwal, and certainly not like you get in the middle of a town or a city. So this is what it's all about. So in all fairness, it's not as rocky as I remember it, but it is pretty rocky, I'm sure you'll agree. I don't remember quite so much green up here. But yeah, it's still a pretty incredible landscape, isn't it, with all these rocks. So the name Glyder, from a pile of stones, is very fitting. Yeah, we're heading over this way, and then over the far side there you can see that is Glyder Fach, and in the middle, I don't know if you can make it out on here, you can just about start to see Castell Y Gwynt, Castle of the Wind. And you can see again a bit clearer now, the clouds lifted a bit. It's kind of up and down the cloud. It's quite quickly it moves in and then clears. So yeah, it's stunning when it clears, and you can see obviously in the distance there. Absolutely amazing. This is a gribbon here. It comes up here. I think that's a gribbon anyway. Please, again, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so, and then Seniors Ridge, I think, is this one here that we saw earlier. So yeah, Seniors Ridge on the left, a gribbon on the right. As a gribbon looks as if it's quite doable, I think, compared to any of the others around here for me. So maybe that's one for me to check out, think about doing in the future, when I've got a lighter bag with me, of course. So we're gonna take this path now that goes, there is a guy down there, I don't know if you can see them, a guy or a lady, and then it kind of goes round and then onto Glyder Fach. People are coming from and round. So we're by. This is Castell Y Gwynt behind me, and I've just stopped just to have a quick bite to eat and a coffee. Just looking at this view. This view is absolutely stunning. But what you've got here is you've got the road that goes down. You can see, you should be able to see that road. I've actually stood in a lay-by on that road, taking pictures of up here and Castell Y Gwynt. So it's quite interesting to be from this perspective. But that road there takes you down to Bwlch and past Llyn Ogwen, which is beautiful down there. There's a lovely campsite down there. I don't know what this llyn is called, this lake here. If somebody knows, put it in the comments. I'll have to go up. It looks very pretty around there. It looks actually really nice to go for a walk. Actually, and as I've switched the camera on, the cloud is coming in again. But you might be able to just make out a couple of pathways. There's a pathway that goes that way and a pathway that's coming this way. This is a Rhyddfa. This is Snowdon. So this is the pig track. And the pig track goes over to, there's a little space over there where it goes up and over and continues on the other side. And actually behind all this cloud now is Cwm Idwal. So Cwm Idwal is here. And on the other side, you've got, I'm not sure what that peak is called, but then you've got the Llywed and then Snowdon behind. So, and that's actually part of that track there, is part of the miners track. So the miners track goes round. A lot of people take the pig track up. Whenever I've gone this side, I've always gone up the pig track up to the top and then back down the miners. So as you come round Castell Y Gwynt, I realised there were some people you can see actually little people climbing up Castell Y Gwynt now. But there is actually a route. You need to do a little bit of a scramble up that way. But this is Glyder Fach now. So there are lots of different ways you can get there. You're going to have to do a little bit of a scramble, whichever way you go. I've come across this way, and I think I should have probably headed up. I couldn't remember from last time which way. I've had a look at old trails. And the old trails route is that way, and I probably would have followed that more closely last time. But it's not too bad, you know, a little bit of a scramble. Maybe there are some bits where you can almost avoid scrambling altogether. But yeah, we just need to kind of get over and up onto there now. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad. There is one very rocky rock back there, but other than that, that's okay. And then this is nice and about as easy as it comes. It's a little bit steep, but I don't think you're going to avoid that. You're either going to have like a steep-ish hill to climb or more scrambling. So take your pick. So I'm thinking that if I had gone straight up from where I was sat, having something to eat, I'd have come to here. This is Castell Y Gwynt. And then there's obviously a clearly defined path. Actually, it's quite clear that a lot of people had come that way. Somebody doing exactly what I was doing before. But I kind of cut back and up towards Castell Y Gwynt, and I say there was quite a clear path all the way up. Had to traverse a few rocky bits, but it was clear that there were paths through the rocks or over the rocks that had been trodden a million times. So obviously lots of people have made the same mistake as I have, or they've come up from the other direction. Indeed. But yeah, this now is definitely the right path. So yes, Castell Y Gwynt, Castle in the wind. It's very windy. I don't know whether because I've got the DJI mic, whether you're picking up how windy it is, but it is pretty windy up here. Probably hence the name, Castell Y Gwynt, Castle of the Wind. I think it's just a little channel where a lot of wind seems to pass through. So from Castle in the Wind, it looks like you can see quite clearly here there's a path defined over these rocks, these quite flattish rocks. It looks like they've been trodden on lots of times to go over the top. So I'm guessing that that's the path over. You can go whichever way you want to, make your own way. But yeah, it looks like this way is a nice easy way to get to. Oh, there's actually, there you go. There's a path there. I missed that. There is a path. I'm sure you can see it. There's small stones, so there is a path just up that way. But oh well. What's life without a bit of adventure, eh? So if the name Glyder derives from pile of stones, it's definitely more fitting for Glyder Fach than Glyder Fawr. Well, Glyder Fawr is like a big pile of stones. There's far more green, whereas here you can see that there is far more stones here. And you do find yourself kind of tippy-toeing over the stones. Quite good fun, actually. Finding your way through the stones. I'd say it's nothing too difficult. There are plenty of different ways to go. I say it's not one where you have to have a particular route to go through. So lots of different ways. But yeah, it's definitely more of a pile of stones is Glyder Fach than Glyder Fawr. Glyder Fach tops out at 994 metres. I'm not sure again where the summit of Glyder Fach is. Whether it's up there or whether it's a bit further on. We'll have a look and we'll try and make a judgment on that. And as we make our way round the huge Glyder pile of stones, what do we see? The Cantilever stone. Tourist hotspot, famous picture place. And of course there are people here already, so but I will be doing exactly the same. I can't blame them. We'll be heading up there for a little bit of a picture opportunity. I've done it before, but I think it's something that you've got to do when you're here, is get up there and have a picture taken. So that's what I will be doing. Glyder Fach, the Cantilever stone. So there we go. We've done the Cantilever stone, and I took a picture. I didn't get the drone up because it's too windy, sadly. So, by the way, I'm sure last time I walked straight up this, and I'm sure most people do walk straight up this, but my boot started slipping as soon as I got about 3/4 of the way up. And on the way down, actually, just to the left of it, if you go up the flat stone a little bit and then you kind of veer off to the left, it's far easier to get up that way. So yeah, go that way if you find that you're slipping. And that, my friends, was Glyder Fawr and Glyder Fach, big pile of stones and little pile of stones via Twll, Devil's Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be making my way down now. I'm going to make my way down the other side of Glyder Fach, go this way. Go a nice easy way if I can see where I'm going, and then it'll go through over Bwlch, Tryfan, and then I'm going to go down back to the Cwm Idwal path and round that way. So if I'm right, going down that way, which looks terrifying, that way takes you towards Bristly Ridge. So if you were going down Bristly Ridge, you would go over there. But yeah, so we've just followed it down. The summit's over there. I don't know how much of this you can see through the cloud, but as soon as you get to this bit there, which you can see that, so you can go over that if you want to. If you want to go down Bristly Ridge towards Tryfan, if you're inclined to want to go for a scramble, but then the path quite clearly, I think, heads down this way, down towards the far side of Glyder Fawr, and then we can cut back once we're further down. Right, so completely scrap what I just said about that. That is Bristly Ridge on the other side of there. What I didn't realise, that I'm sure somebody will write in the comments, as I realise it now, is that this leads down to a scree path, I think, that goes down towards Bwlch, Tryfan. And I've seen a video of somebody came down the scree path a long time ago, and it's supposed to be quite horrible. And I'm certainly not doing it with this bag on my back with all this weight. So the actual path, I didn't recognise it. I thought it was a bit steeper than I'd recognised before. So the actual path that we should be on is over this way somewhere. So I'm going to go and have a look over the top of here. But it should definitely be a lot more straightforward. So yeah, we're heading somewhere over the other side of this. So if you get to this bit here, it looks like it just goes into oblivion. It does. So I don't know how much of this you can see now. Again, the fog is back, but as soon as you get to here, you need to just skirt along to your right. So that over there is where Bristly Ridge is, over that way, the scree path down there. We need to shoot round this way. So I've checked all trails, and so I would have followed all trails very closely last time. I don't know quite how I managed to completely bypass that bit, because I don't remember seeing that last time at all. But yeah, we're going to head over this way and over to the right here, and that should lead us down that better path. I've come down this way, and it's a bit of a mare. It's not too bad, but it's very scrambly, a bit of bum scooting. There's definitely easier paths coming down from the top. So yeah, once you leave the Cantilever stone, you need to be bearing right, and looking for this side, really. If you go to Bristly, I think you've gone a bit too far. If people know way markers, then leave it in the comments for other people, because like I've said before, one of the big points of these videos is for people like in the situation that I was a few years ago, that wouldn't have dreamt of doing this kind of thing, and really fancy giving it a go. So yeah, if you can help out other people, then leave something in the comments to say, oh yeah, look out for this, and then turn right. It'll also be useful for me next time, because as I say, the way things have been, I don't think I'm going to be doing Bristly Ridge in a hurry. So it's not very easy to see the path coming down. We've come down probably only about 70 metres from the top, but it's been a nightmare. We're heading towards there. You can see a path there. That's Bwlch. So we'll head down there, and then as soon as we hit the dip, you can either double back towards Bwlch Tryfan, or I do know there are some paths that head down what would be the right hand side of Tryfan from where we are now. So I might have a look at those to see if we can get back down. Okay, so here, if you head for this, where you can see this little lone rock just up there, there's a couple of smaller ones this side, and a couple of Davide, but I'm presuming they won't be there when you come back. But yeah, if you see these two big rocks here, you want to kind of hook round, and it looks like this is very well trodden here. So I think we're kind of going to head down and zigzag to the right and head down towards, there's a fella down there, and that's the way we're headed. So we're now well down off the summit, about 200 odd metres down, and we're heading towards where that would be, you would go straight on if you're going up to Bwlch. But I think now here is the split that goes back towards Bwlch Tryfan, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, over that way will get us over towards Bwlch Tryfan. Bwlch Tryfan is up over that way, so there's a path that leads through here and goes up to Bwlch Tryfan, but then there are paths that go that way on this side of Tryfan, and we can get down to the road and then across. So that's the way we're going to try and find, but if it looks like it's too steep or too difficult, then we'll head for Bwlch Tryfan, and then it looks like there is a path that goes across that way that might be quite easy, so we'll pick that one up. We'll see how we get on. So I could have gone down that path. It looks like it does kind of, it looks like there are people who've gone that way. There's a bit of water that's running down there. It looks like it's very loose scree. Whereas this path that goes to Bwlch Tryfan is quite well laid with big stones. Last time I came down here, there weren't quite as many big stones, and the big bags of big stones all the way along, so it was a bit more loose. Yeah, that scree slope, by the way, that comes down a bit further down, I think, just on this kind of little plateau that you can kind of see in front of me, behind here. It's really steep. You can kind of make out from here how steep it must be. But yeah, we're gonna head down this. I figured it was a bit better to head down with these big stones just to here, and then you can see there is a little bit of a scree path that heads down that way. I think that's the way that we're gonna go, and then try and catch that path up. Just checked on all trails, and yeah, this is where we're gonna go down. We're gonna head down this little bit of scree here, which isn't too heavy, and then we're gonna pick up that path down there. Right, so scratch that. I went down, literally about 5 metres, and it's like a slip and slide slope. Not comfortable with this weight on my back going down there. If I was travelling light, maybe, but still, slip slide, not good. So didn't fancy it. I have walked this path, and although it's not the greatest path in the world, and yeah, it is further going back up to Bwlch Tryfan, it's much nicer. So I'm not risking the scree, not a chance. So yeah, I'm heading back up to Bwlch Tryfan, and then over to Cwm Idwal. That's the way I'm going to go. You can see the path that we've come down here. I think the scree that I've seen is just, I'm not sure whether it's just over here or whether it is literally here, but yeah, it's horrible. I think it's just over the top of here. You'll be able to see the scree on your left. Apologies for the wind, by the way. I put the mic away. I'd actually acquired a spare mic recently. That's gone. So yeah, if anybody finds it, then yeah, if you either want to return it, great. If not, enjoy yourself a microphone. But no, you can see there, so the scree slope there goes up, and it looks absolutely disgusting. So Bwlch Tryfan is just up there, so this path is great. So we're just going to stick to this nice path, and make sure we get back in one piece before it's dark. we go, we can see the wall. There's the wall, Bristly Ridge up there. There's the scree, you can see the scree slope actually quite well defined there. That just looks awful. So again, apologies for the wind. So but yeah, here's the part of Bwlch Tryfan. We didn't quite come up to this part of Bwlch Tryfan last time. We cut off when we went up Tryfan. We cut off and went up further up that way. But yeah, so this is Bwlch Tryfan. It's beautiful. Even when it's cloudy and windy and a bit cold. I'm not cold. I'm roasting, having just climbed up towards Bwlch Tryfan. But yeah, there we go. So that's the start of Bwlch Tryfan, and we're now on a path that we know. There we are, we're back down at Australia Lake, Llyn Ogwen. So I showed you a little bit of a hyperlapse if it's come out okay of the trip down from Bwlch Tryfan, just to show you a little bit of the path that maybe I didn't show you much of last time when I went to Tryfan. But yeah, I mean the rest of it, if you want to know the rest of the way, how I got lost last time, watch the video from Tryfan. I might show you a little clip a little bit further on if I decide to go a slightly different way, but otherwise I'm just going to go and take the path all the way down to Cwm Idwal. So yeah, thanks for coming along. If you've enjoyed it, then it really help if you would hit the like button and subscribe for more mad trips and adventures and maybe a bit of getting lost. We'll try not to get lost, we'll try and show you decent ways, but I think sometimes it's good to see how easy it can be to get lost, even when you've been and done these things before. So yeah, if you want to drop a comment, answer any of my questions, or help out with some of the directions, some of the ways that I missed, some of the routes maybe that I missed, then yeah, that'd be great. So until next time, thanks. Hwyl fawr. Helo Dafad, stai ti? Iawn.